Hello for the 32nd week of the year, using the first reading, 2nd Maccabees, chapter 7, 1 to 14, and Luke's Gospel, chapter 20, 27 to 38. And the title of this is The Rest of the Story. Do you remember Paul Harvey on the radio? And he would end up very off with, and that is the rest of the story. Well, Paul Harvey died in about 7 years ago, and he had 1,600 radio stations. And each week he spoke to 24 million people about a well-known person or an event, and he would wrap it up with, and that's the rest of the story. Well, believe it or not, I was on Paul Harvey's radio program once. And it happened a few years back. They asked me to come down Lexington to the city council meeting and open with prayer. And I did. And at the very end of the prayer, I petitioned the Lord and I said, and dear Lord, during this meeting tonight, please give us the gift of brevity. And I received a standing ovation. And the next morning, that appeared in the newspaper. And apparently, Paul Harvey got it, and he put it on his radio program. Said something like, Lexington, Kentucky. Some local priest gave the opening prayer for their council meeting. And at the very end of his prayer, he petitioned the good Lord for a gift. The gift of brevity. And he received a standing ovation. And that's the rest of the story. No. The rest of the story that we're getting to today is, eventually, it's the resurrection. The resurrection of the body, and we have two readings that deal with resurrection. The first from the Old Testament, book of Maccabees. 7 brothers were tortured by the king, and they alluded to the resurrection of the body. One said, the king of this world will raise us up to live again forever. And another one of the brothers in the torturing had his tongue cut out and his hands cut off. And that brother said, as he went to his death, it was from heaven that I received these, and from God I hope to receive them again. And each of the 7 brothers were tortured and murdered, and they made a statement about the resurrection of the body. That was the rest of that story. And now in the gospel, the Sadducees come to Jesus Christ, and they try to trick him. And these Sadducees, they don't believe in the resurrection of the body. The Pharisees did, but the Sadducees didn't. And so they wanted to catch Jesus. And then they said, now Jesus, let's just say there were 7 brothers. And these 7 brothers, one of them married this woman. And one of those 7 died with no children. And it says in Deuteronomy 25 that one of the brothers ought to marry her and help her to have children. They said, when this set of circumstances, you just heard it, this set of circumstances, all 7 brothers married the one gal without a child and died. Now, Jesus, what happens at the end of time? When they all come back together again? What happens in the kingdom of God when they're all together again? And we say, well, what happens in heaven when we're all together again? And Jesus said, well, the end of the story is that we're all going to rise from the dead. And there is a resurrection of a body. Your body, a body. Whether it's going to be fat or skinny, beautiful or ugly, or what is going to be. He didn't give the details in the rest of the story. And so I'm sorry, as sure as shooting, according to our faith and our belief, the body will rise again somehow, some way, and look somewhat different. Same, probably different. Most people don't want their same body back anyway. So I think you'll just have to be rather patient, because those early Jews who were tortured, who believed in resurrection, it was foggy to them. Even at the time of Jesus, when Jesus was speaking, he didn't give details of what it was going to be like. And you and I are pretty much in the same situation. We believe, yet this body will die. Life is not ended, it's changed. The funeral preface. Life is not ended, it's changed. It gets a new body. What that's like, I don't know. You don't know. But we will find out, because we will experience the rest of the story. Have a good day.